Cool million in the bank. Look at that. Cool million in the bank. 39% approval, but that's nothing a tax cut won't solve. Oh, don't you worry, I'm going to be cutting some taxes. I'm going to be improving living conditions, get that. This is one game. Yes, 1 million. This is a game that's free from the Necronomicon. You know why? There's no Necronomicon content in Kitten Beach. You know why? Because it's a pure idea. Morning Monster. Yeah, Tropico 7's gonna have the Necronomicon. I wouldn't put it past them. Up in the church on the mountain. They push people off that cliff. Cthulhu's gonna rise from the sea. Yeah, through all those windmills. Look at you attempting to be sustainable. Morning, Hisa, thank you. Don't forget you owe Bublina 2 domes, do we? Did we agree on that? Oh, that was actually going to be my first and perhaps my only conversation with you today. But I think I should lose the mufflers. Whenever you mention it, you want to push me off a cliff. Oh, am I early? I was so excited by the soundtrack, I couldn't hold myself back. Now I look like Magnum PI. Yeah. This is what we all look like when we put these shirts on. Get a tash. Thank you, Bluewoods. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, as well. Sorry, I missed the good mornings there. Good morning, Manatee with tea. Manatee with tea. Does anyone remember the Manatee episode in South Park? It's possibly one of the best episodes that exists of South Park, where they find the writers for Family Guy, and they're manatees with idea balls. And they push the idea balls into slots and assemble plots at random. It's so good. Watch it if you haven't watched it. Family Guy rips, South Park rips Family Guy and The Simpsons. It's extremely funny. And it's also tied into some Islamic terror plot as well, which is crazy, but it works. Alright, so good morning everybody. This is the final Kitten Beach stream of Season 2, Extra Democracy, where we delegated more powers to the people, which were, the chat. This is an interactive game, or an attempt at an interactive game with Evil Gang. A political simulator where we pretend to be kittens on an imaginary tropical island which bears no relation to the real world or events in the real world whatsoever. And we struggle through the colonial period and the world wars and the Cold War, and then we end in the modern era. And the idea is that we build Kitten Beach, whatever that is. I don't think, maybe this is Kitten Beach. That's the thing to discuss. Like, in my head, Kitten Beach was always more villas and more pools, right? So I definitely want to be adding pools today. We've got 1 million $1 million in the bank. So I'm going to be spending a lot of that on swimming pools. I don't think I'm going to have any complaints from anyone about that. Pools everywhere, I think. Especially in those grey areas, we need pool. Maybe the real Kitten Beach was the friends we made along the way. Exactly, such a commotion. Exactly. $1 million. Kitten Beach will be back after some break. Yeah. This is just the end of season 2. It's going to go on for 9 seasons. But we'll have a bit of a rest after this. We might play a small island. But just, if you're new to the Kitten Beach streams, we're playing Tropico 6. We have like 6 districts, if you like, that are based on the factions. And people get to vote for things in their area, develop their area, or they get to vote to change something in the island. We had a few kind of wrong turns, but nothing too bad. And we've made it into the kind of victory zone in 2120 AD with $1 million in the bank. We're pretty safe now. Not much can go wrong, touch wood. I think I can fix most things that come. So this game is about aesthetics, really, and about, finishing the island in the way we want. And actually, it's going to come down to residences, I think, where people really want to live. I think maybe let the people decide that. I'm not sure. Tree houses are beginning to run low on popularity, I'm afraid. I know they're romantic, but it's kind of like the old Milan. The tree houses is kind of like the old Milan of season 2. Old Milan in season 1 were a faction that tried to hang on to the old ways and preserve the kind of town centres and the churches and all that kind of stuff and the nice little houses. But also they preserved a kind of like ancient infrastructure that really could have been demolished and removed for a dome and a swimming pool. Right? 1,000 years of Kitten Beach. Charlemagne has nothing on Logan. Thank you. Playing Crusade Kings at the moment, that gets close to my heart. Thank you. Such a commotion. A Cthulhu will also be rising from the pools, possibly. Anyway, so but more broadly than that, it was a interactive theatre exercise with an attempt to kind of understand where we are in world history and maybe try to get funny jokes, like make it a positive kind of light comedy spin on a pretty desperate global situation. The reason being is that endlessly piling tragedy on people when they're already tragedied out is not really going to do much to lift spirits or change the direction of the planet. Yeah. So the idea is that environmental movements have to become less bleak and less doomy and more inclusive and more fun and more like upbeat, and we can do it, and not only fun but also funny, right? You got to get comedy back. So I had some interesting conversations about this with some people when I was in England last, and things have changed. So I have been maybe I have some collaboration with some green-leaning groups in the UK coming up. We're talking about that at the moment. I think you'll like that, gang. I think it's your thing. It's with for vegan movement and bringing maybe a little bit of comedy back. But I would say that's part of a wave that's going through the green movements at the moment. Is that I think everyone's kind of recognising that. So I think a lot of these conversations are happening, and things are changing. As you can see in the UK yesterday from the results, things are changing. It's going to be quite a brutal battle though. But you gotta be funny, right? Because the one side that took an absolute hammering yesterday has got no sense of humour whatsoever, right? So sense of humour, and it's very, very difficult now because comedy is so fractured, because the cultural landscape is so fractured. It's difficult to know what you can joke about. So one of those things we were doing was exploring comedy within the context of this game. And things have happened during the run of Kitten Beach. Venezuela happened and Iran happened, and there are themes in this game that kind of speak to that as well, which is quite interesting. Picked it up. The Petros are quite active today, so they might be jumping and fighting and diving around in the background. No, I have residency. Wales and Scotland have left-leaning nationalist parties. Yeah, okay. Well, look, I don't actually mind that. Like, as I said, I thought, like, I didn't want the UK to break up, but I'm very anti-Brexit, right? It was, like, really, really annoying in so many ways, and it's proved disastrous for the economy, and we all said, you know, it would be a really, really silly idea. But one way of being absorbed back into the EU was being broken into separate chunks. And I know some people are against the EU for whatever reasons, and I'm not uncritical of the EU, of course, but having that kind of like all of us together, like sharing all of this culture and all of this landscape, it's very, if we can figure it out, you know, it's better to be with each other than not, I think. Right. Yeah, I know. Don't get me started. That'll be my first crying session of the day. Don't get me talking about Brexit. Right. Serious glasses on. So, and as I said, this kind of Boalian theatre theory has been at work in green movements for a long time. Extinction Rebellion, all their invisible theatre stuff. That's all really taken from that Boalian stream of using theatre to activate passive people, to make them become spectators and take part in the world and change things for the better, with no violence and no magic. So it's a very, very, very nice philosophy. And I know that some people have got the book, Theatre of the Oppressed. It's worth reading. I can't remember how much reading he expects you to have done already, and how much knowledge he expects you to have. I remember, I think, reading it when I was 18, and it was maybe a little bit tough for me. But I can't remember if it was just me reading it badly or whether I should have known more before I went in. But Brecht is the big thing. Brecht is the precursor. So you've got he's got his interactive theatre, right, where people actually are involved and taking part and changing the drama and blah 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 blah. But Brecht had that alienation technique, which was to break the spell, if you like, that movies and films and the entertainment industry kind of cast on you by pulling you into the story and forgetting your reality for a minute. And Brecht was about like, no, wait, like, look at it. What does it mean? What does it mean for you? How does this story, you know, like, affect your world and so on? So that's the necessary kind of bit of knowledge, the epic theatre of Brecht, I would say. And then I think he talks about Shakespeare and Greek tragedies a little bit. No magic, no magic. We do Brexit on Kitten Beach. No, we're not going to do that. So I'm going to build swimming pools everywhere. I'm giving you all a swimming pool. And then we can talk. And I think a lot of it is kind of aesthetics. So since we have the money, I think I'm just going to go around the island and, you know, kind of like tidy it up and like take some input from the faction leaders when I get to that spot. There's one fundamental thing maybe in terms of getting the votes going. Brexit. No. No! If only Brecht had been there for us. We needed Brecht. Did you know that the etymology of the word Wales is the Anglo-Saxon word wheelas, which meant outsiders or foreigners, especially the Celts being native to the region at that time? Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I was actually going to do a bit of a mini talk on that, on the definition of the West, right? Because, you know, Greece was the West. In the beginning, and like what the idea of the West means and how it's been changed and how it always exists as in opposition to the to othering the East. Right. Anyway, anything else we need to say before we start? I don't think so. All right, let's get in. Yeah, alright, so the first vote, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about, the first vote. Hey, Nightcore Gremlin. I think that's you. Boom, boom, boom. Hamus effect. Right, now we only had a little bit of this. Okay, yeah, that's Petra action. They're running around like maniacs. We kind of brought in some domes, right? So let's start here, maybe. This is the new Petrocat territory. It's got 2 remaining nuclear power plants, which is the main source of energy on the island, and 1 dome. A supermarket that isn't really being used that much. A car factory which is working. Steel mill which isn't really working. Jewelry which isn't really working.
Fuck me, you dog!
That's going though, that's alright. Where's it gone? Bubblina's domes, you owe her 2 at the base of the mountain. Yeah, alright. We'll get to it. Monster, we'll get to it. Here. You want 2 domes here? Like, Bubblina, you want 2 domes here? You can have 2 domes, I don't mind. I mean, that's what I was going to be started talking about. You're kind of jumping ahead. I'm getting to the domes. All roads lead to dome. I don't know. I'm not doing that without Bubblina signing off on it. I don't know whether it's a domist plot. Do you want to do this first, Bubblina? Just say dome or no dome. I wanted to make the argument for domes before we start doming. What's the advantage of putting up domes? Alright, well look. And this, for those of you who have missed it, this is a bit of a Logan's Run in joke, because in the film Logan's Run they live in domes, right? And it ended up, we had quite a kind of Logan's Run plot last time. No, look, I'm not going to make... No, I'm not... no. Yeah, look, let me yap. Yeah, let me yap for a minute. Here we go. Look, this is the alternative. We had this conversation last week. This game was blessed by the German Ministry of the Environment, right? So this kind of end game is giving us the various options for how we can live in the future, right? And you can have houses and you can have apartment buildings. That's fine. But Valerie, as kind of like old Milan again, but in the Conservatives, wanted to keep... Well, gets romantically attached to things, I understand, right? And in this case, it was these tree houses. But look, people aren't living in them. Now you put the metro in there. People aren't living in the... I don't think Valerie's can't be here today, but like, I'm gonna demolish all those tree houses, I think. There's no need for them. And you know why? Hey, Mikazai. Hey, you know why there's no need for them? Is because people are living in the domes now and driving in. Because they've got the choice to live in a dome or a tree house, and they're picking a dome. You don't do that. No, I'm only going to demolish I'm just pruning. I'm pruning it. Look, they're empty. There's no one living there, and the population's going down. She'd want me to do it. Why would you pick it? I'm saying the people in the game, these simulants, are picking the domes. Yeah, you're all saying that, and the tree houses we did... Look, the tree houses, we put electricity... Sorry, there's a bit of a rebel attack going on. There's a jet right above us. Yeah, that's that guy. Or maybe let's go with this guy for a bit. I'll come back to the trees. Yeah, 1.11 million! Look at this. How cool is this guy?
The citizens are demanding elections, Presidente. It seems that they want a choice in how they are ruled.
Alright, tax cut. Bail out! Shh, bail out, bail out, bail out. Oh, okay, wait, hang on, hang on. I've got a cat emergency moment. Sorry, Petro 2's going to climb out the window there. I don't know how that was even possible. Right, okay, fuck, okay. Election, fine, no problem. Tax cut. So yes, I will deliver an amazing speech. I will acknowledge the issue, which is going to be fun, and I have a solution for fun, which I've discussed with you already. We're going to praise Bubblina. The Middle East really don't like us. We're going to start getting invaded soon. Shit. Apparently our Swiss money was caught in the Middle East somehow. The Petros heard the word dome and immediately tried to escape. That's kind of what happened. Alright, we're not going to blame anyone. We don't need to blame anyone. And I'm going to not promise anything. I'm not promising nothing. Right, let's follow this jet. No, dude.
Some call it the Valley of the Shadow of Despair. But to me, it is the Valley of the Shadow of my home. Our spirits cannot be broken. So rise, O Tropico, and despair no more.
There we go.
Entertain you. Oh, it's nothing fun anymore. Let Presidente be all the fun you need.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to the man.
Let Presidente enjoy it for you. As we strive, God shall not forsake our beautiful shore.
There's just random civilians there as well. Oh my god.
Wish we owe them one.
That's supposed to be a precision strike, by the way.
So vote El Presidente for the future that you deserve.
Oh, this is a massacre. This is going to be a massacre.
Viva Tropico!
Okay. Right, so yeah, I mean, what I was saying is that we can destroy a lot of these trees because we're not using them. They look very nice, don't get me wrong, right? I can imagine, it sounds like it's fun living there. It sounds like it would be fun living there. Right? But when people get to choose, they're not living there. They're not living, like, people don't live in tree houses at the end of their garden, do they? They live in a house. I know they just got electricity, but like, could we just take down half of those trees? We don't need them. We can make this tree zone more dense. You don't live in... Okay, alright, okay. Actual vote then. First vote, Hisa. How many people actually live in a treehouse in chat? Not do you want to live in the trees, do you actually live in the tree? Let's destroy the trees with precision strikes. Okay, you live in trees. Alright, so can we get a vote on that? I wanna touch the pulse of the mainstream. You live in 3 trees. You kind of do live in trees. I can do tree placement to compensate. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I can even make this whole thing smaller. I can maybe bring Docky in. But Valerie's not here, so unless there's a deputy in place, then I'm just going to do that. Are we making the dome penis again? So first half is you decorating and the third votes will come later. No, I really just want to discuss the domes one last time. And then it's going to be decorating and then we're all going to pat ourselves on the back for a good game. Unless something happens. But I think I can handle everything with tax cuts. You rent one tree. Does a log cabin count? If you live in a log cabin, yeah, fine. You can have it. Look, I'm not saying it's not... Look, okay, alright. Let's... Han, right, for example. Han's like going, oh, don't touch the trees. Where does Han live? In a glistening tower of steel. And loads of nice little houses like this. That's what the capitalists, that's how the capitalists are living. And you communists are living in the trees. And people are leaving the trees and going to live in the towers. Okay, so you live in Kira, which is the slot pipe. Alright, so we can start with Bubblina then. Bubblina moved out and Jade kind of got this territory. So there's a kind of religious intellectual fusion happened here. It's nearly Logan's Run. It's very nearly Logan's Run. But you went for the eco apartments instead. I mean, to make it maybe nicer, we could move these towers out of the center a bit. And then you were talking about domes. Can move 2 towers there. 2 towers mentioned. Keep it cheese in this territory. It looks so sad. No shade, no oxygen production. Yeah, I will. Once we've decided what the perimeter is, then I will ring it with trees. Alright. Oh, we wanted a pool though. Hang on. Wait, what about this? Okay, first aqua park going in. I'll put a statue of me next to it. Alright. Do we need all this meat? God, those juices slay, but they're... Organic dyes. Yeah. Yeah. Statue of meat next to every pool, yeah. Slop, talk and juice. You trying to make Well Presidente a god? Well Presidente. The executive pool. Yeah. How long are they? Are they 5 long? One giant statue in the middle of... Yeah, well, like, let me finish this a little bit. Alright, that's a bit Babylon, isn't it? And we cleared some space here. So I'm wondering whether we can maybe get more pools or... Yeah, look. Wait, no, is it full? What entertainment do you guys want? You want golf? Statue of Gibbity. The Kitten cruise ship back to celebrate season finale. I think so. Give them golf. This is a bit of a... I don't mind. You can have a totalitarian decision here. I'll give you cabaret back if you want, Bubblina. You want the cabaret back? Get a road down there maybe as well. This is the way to do it. Yeah. Slap it there. Cabaret. Yeah, I know we have money. I'm spending the money. Right. So, domes. You want 2 domes here as well? I think that might drain the entire island into it, but it's up to you. Golf is a socialist environmentalist, so bad for nature, so capitalist higher class, makes you shiver. Yeah, golf is evil. Build Gallows Hill instead. Yes, 2 domes. Yeah, alright, see you. Go do what you gotta do. I'm gonna give these domes their own metro then. It's like, you know, like building a dome. How building a dome feels. It's difficult to say how satisfying it is. You go there. You fit 2 in like that. There we go. Yeah, that metro gets most of these people. If we move that back over there. So then we have another metro here maybe for the dome users. It's a cheeky secret metro round the back. Yeah. You got a metro up on the mountain as well, yeah, okay, let's do that. Nice. Alright, oh, we are at power. Okay. Okay, power's back. Domes aren't that full though. I mean, we could do this, but we don't want to go in the dome death trap that we went in last time. These are popular, look at that. These people are going to be really happy. Right, I've got an election going. Let's generally improve everything for everyone. Including the tree houses. But I'll get to you. Right, tree houses are now maxed on my generosity. We've got another little space for a couple of little things here. Bubblina, what do you want? What do you want in your domes? Do you want the butcher, the clown chef, or the holy cook? I guess holy cook, yeah. Holy cooks. I told you, I can't believe the German Environmental Ministry wants you to live in trees. Holy cooks. Perfect, alright. Now this is a bit anarchic up here. I quite like it, but it's a bit... Why are there people living in there? You got shacks all over you. Get in the domes. This is the Yowie village. Be cool living up here though. Alright, this dome, gotta make this dome work though, it's not a popular dome. Right, I think I'm gonna leave Bubblina for a little bit. And we will now head over to Esther. You roll up and heater's gone, time to misbehave. Praise Terra, congratulations. May fruits of our labour bring many fruits. Woohoo, Terra. Yeah. The Terra's world has considerably shrunk from what it was. It used to be a sprawling Ostrava-like mining town. But it shrunk down to one dome, a prison, one weapons factory. The main steel mills are there. It may be even worth bringing the cars out of Petroland. Maybe just leave Petro with the power stations. I think we should do that. We haven't got to the Tree Brothers yet. Yeah, I think we take the cars, yeah? Yeah, let's take the cars from here. We can start winding this down because it's a bit away from the steel production as well. It's not... We need more rubber as well. Let's get this again. Great. Needs a pool, yeah. Needs a pool, yeah. Thank you. Keep me focused on what's true. But I was thinking, I don't know if we could squeeze another dome in here. No, not really. Okay, so pools it is. What was that? Deadby. Oh, lurking. Thank you. $33 mention. Hey, Leia. So can we merge Terra and Petro in one big conglomerate? Well, in that we can completely pull this apart and move it back to all in Terra. Is that what you're saying? It's not so bad. No, it's not so bad. We wanted to do an island where everybody had their own region, you see. But we've done fine. Look, it's 21-21. We're good. This is on the most high difficulty settings, by the way, with the exception of there's no pandemic on. But everything else is just on maximum difficulty. It's not on easy mode. I literally just showed you the difficulty settings. Don't even go there. Maybe we can move this one that way. Yeah, I mean, I can shrink it down. What's the Terra plan could still work as the main industry business little. We could start creating a dome utopia of love and futurism fueled by fires of industrial energy. Sounds like something someone on easy mode would say. I don't know, like, you mean you want to put the dome there? You want to put all the domes in Petroland with the nuclear power plants and then just put all the industry here and link it with cars and stuff? You want to do a proper Logan's Run in the dome? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying, Esther? I can do that. I mean, if it would be good, it's a matter of aesthetics now. We've kind of finished the game, as I said. It will look nice, yeah, I think. There's some things that we can just shrink and like basically start importing. We've got so much money. We need more rubber, right? There's always rubber running out. And let's get more iron. No, we're out of trade routes. This has still got 146,000 left. That's not got much left, but we're probably at the end. So what other industry can we pull out of here? Okay, the jewelry. No, that's not going to work. Sorry, I'm just being picky about my placements here. If we're going for the end. Let's maybe lay them like that. Okay, I'm gonna remove this supermarket. It's not working anyway. Yeah, teach. Right, I'm doing a lot of destruction here, so I'm just gonna fend the election day off with a tax cut quickly. Tax cut!
Get on everyone.
No, that didn't actually do that much. That's quite troubling. Why isn't there any power? Okay. Gold, aluminium, uranium. We need that. Nickel, we need. And the pool. Right, we can get the dome all the way up to there, and then we can move the other dome in. That's probably the best I can do, I think. The swimming pool is right by the uranium mines. Let's get another one of those. Right, Clown Chef. Clown Chef. Well, maybe just one Surgeon Butcher. Okay, so let's maybe get another, move the garage closer. Yeah, that's fine.
Forgot the seal. Busy. Voila.
Fuck me, you dog!
Can we get a satanic mechanic?
Please, excuse me.
I can get you a satanic mechanic. Maybe move that here actually in the end, after all. Do we need this anymore, do you think? We're importing the iron. I think let's destroy it. Okay. That's my best crack at that, I think. So we've got a very shrunk down. I mean, you can put some. Oh, you want a pool? There's a pool, right? Let's get a pool in. Alright, they've got a pool and a little bit of housing. They got a couple of domes. Are these domes occupied? Yes, these domes are packed. They can eat, they've got entertainment. Yes, is that okay? As a fusion? Your European heart yearns for roundabouts. Every time you make a four-way intersection, an angel dies. Do you do roundabouts on this game? No way. You do roundabouts? Does that help? Roundabouts mentioned. I've never really done the road planning here. As you can see. We had a terrible traffic jam earlier as well. Right. Let's see how that's affected treehouse living. And then we'll take a very short break. It's just these that can go, really. Maybe a few of Detvi's tree houses. Because they're kind of legacy tree houses, guys. I mean... Did Americans make this game? The only explanation for disgusting road management. I don't know. I mean, I like city skylines. We can do that, but I think you're gonna hate me for my road planning. I think that's just a short way to being trashed. We do some other strategy game though. I would like another city. Not city skylines though. But we could do another city planner after this, and maybe have a different approach to it. But we've done well. I mean, you've got these distinct districts that have survived. We're doing radical overhaul now, and this is getting pretty much Logan's run. That's shrunk down, it's become more compact. But it's still got the essence of Terra Kitten. And then we need to probably do English-speaking cat next. This is this Gibraltar English-speaking cat fusion thing that happened. Right, let's have a short break, guys. We haven't got that long. No, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. I would actually like this part of town. I mean, one of the premises of doing it, again, if you're a player of Tropico, one of the premises of doing it via these districts is that if you could get faction districts distinct enough, then the people who wanted that kind of life would be living there, surrounded by the things that they wanted to see, rather than being a communist and living next to the banks. But I mean, maybe that's just ended up becoming an aesthetic thing more than anything else. But it was still useful for play. This has become quite lush. I mean, is Jade here today? Sorry, I haven't been watching the list, but this has turned out pretty nice. Probably get rid of those. No, they're still busy. No one wants that dome, Bubelina. This dome's popular, this one not so much. Alright, okay, let's take a break. Aha, no, there you are, Jade. Excellent. Alright. No, I was just saying it's turned out pretty well. Everyone's living in very lush eco apartments. I mean, we can get a few more university type buildings in. Why don't we whack a library in? I don't know if we need all these Teamsters. Crustacean, sensation. Who's ever tasted a crab? Right, see if there's room for a library. Yeah, library and a school, I think. We're going to bring a school back. Maybe forest school. No, it's not natural enough. It's normal school. There you go, this is like perfect intellectual living. Look at that, you got cabaret, you got a library, you got a school, you got a swimming pool, you got a hospital. This is lush. Free. Oh no, we capitalised all the media. That's maybe what's making us the money, actually. Everybody's brain dead from the adverts, but it pulled us out of the hole. Alright, we've still got loads of money. And 1 hour left. So we're going to be doing English speaking cat when we get back, then Det V, and then we'll leave Communista till the end. And then we'll see, maybe we'll want another game, maybe we'll want like another little wrap-up session for Kitten Beach, because we still haven't built a monument other than getting everybody pools. Although I don't mind. I think that's an achievement. Everybody having a swimming pool is a goddamn achievement in this world. We don't want much. Come on. German company. It's by a German company. Yeah, that's why it's sponsored by the Ministry of the German Environment then. Yeah, that makes sense. And Tropico 7 is coming out, so we'll come back to it for that, I guess. But it's probably going to be drip feeding content, as is the way these days. Equinox was fun, yeah, Equinox was fun. I love Isfana's character, and I like the story. She's so, she's just got so much attitude. I just love it. And the characters are all quite wacky, and yeah, it's slightly unhinged, that game, on some fundamental level. So I'm enjoying it. But we've decided to slow it down because they're bringing more content in, so we're going to be like dipping a little bit into that, I think, taking that one a little bit more slowly. There's more Crusader Kings coming though, I think. And some other strategy games as well. Anyway, let's take a break. The elderly streamer most effectively from the bully the group's weakest member. Here we have in their natural environment Logan 5 chat room. Now many anthropologists have attempted to study the G word as assembled here. Many have failed. It takes only the purest of heart to discover the intricate social hierarchy of the group, which appears to be based around those who bully the group's weakest member, who is the elderly streamer, most effectively from the confines of the mud pit. Thank you, Ignat Spark, for that assessment. Ooh, I'm like David Attenborough if he was fucking evil and a chud, says Not Kira. This is one of my favourite ones. Well, for a German studio, they picked a good soundtrack. Oh, mi amor. David Attenborough is from Leicestershire, mate. He's got the Leicester RP, no? And Richard Attenborough. Damn right it is. Happy birthday, Muppuccino. Unending mega blessings. Pring. May your day be happy. Alright, anyway, we got 50 minutes left. We're going to look at English-speaking Cat's Realm now, which I think is ripe for another bank, amongst other things. Alright, there's not so... We got the Yowie heads here, which are being visited. The B musical I checked in earlier, that was good. That's being used. You've got all the embassies. I could maybe move them. I could move the embassies down here maybe and free up some centre for you. I could finish the kind of housing, the kind of burbs, if you like. Whack a pool in and whack another bank in.
Citizens of Tropico intend to vote for you, Presidente.
No, it should be fine. Yeah? Yeah. The helicopter's on its way. Relax. I could maybe do this. This could work. Hang on, let's do this. This is a little aesthetic thing. Ooh, shit. That's from your little Gibraltar airport. Well, actually, it doesn't need that road. Let's whack a couple of parks in. And maybe a tiny little inspiring statue of me. And then, there's all this area, basically. Make it rich, make it bougie. Do not add a statue, add a pool, add a bank. Rich, make it bougie. Yeah, okay, we do it. Bougie it up. Ching. Right, so we can bougie it up in a very, very nice ways here. Let's get them down into one mini section.
Fuck at me, you dog!
No statues and no domes. Bye-bye. Alright. I think if we move the embassies down by the bookshops, we'll have a bit more space. But they're quite big. Who's this actually feeding? Probably these people and these people, no? I need that space. I'm gonna have to move these embassies. We'll park them around the back of the offices, maybe.
We are receiving news that surprisingly organized vandals have damaged civic buildings in Tropico. Do not be alarmed. This is categorically not a rebel attack.
So I'm going to ignore it. Okay, bougie as fuck. So we're gonna get a cocktail bar in there. We're gonna get a gourmet restaurant. You want a golf course or not? What about Museum of Modern Art? How about that? That's pretty bougie. Yeah? Modern art, yeah, alright. And we can get parks in for the rest. the tinkle plink of a fat cat.
That was a close one, Presidente. Apparently some
fuck
citizens
off, was it
need
close?
to be
It's fine.
reminded just how much they love you.
Okay, maybe we can tidy up a little bit more. Hang on. Let's move the Yowie statues for a moment. Yeah, I'll stick another one of these in as well, I think. Oh, we can't get one in there already. Alright, leave that. Right, do you have a metro? No, let's get you a metro. Then everyone can get to the Museum of Modern Art. We'll stick it there. No, maybe stick it in there. Yeah, okay. Okay, what do you think? Are you happy with that? You want to change anything else? Love it. Dome and statue free. I think it's pretty busy. Yeah. It's busy. People are living there. That's working. We're good to think they can pay more. Are the people happy? We can interview a random passerby. Julia. Julia doesn't really like me, but seems to be happy with healthcare and her job. It's quite important. Oh, she's a criminal. No wonder. Fucking arrest her then. This person is immune. Fine, alright. Well, we picked one person, they ended up being a criminal. Not surprising in English-speaking cats territory, though, to be fair. Alright. That changed fast. Did it sneak up on you, everybody? Fidel Castro ice cream shop reference in Tropico with that pineapple building. English-speaking cat is known for banking, offshore banking. Private banking, there you go. Let's stick it on private banking. Maybe one on slush funds. We're just going to start siphoning the treasury now. Oh wait, we need a pool. Fuck, we forgot the pool.
The new robot voting system guarantees the next election will be fair, honest,
Alright, we'll stick the pool here.
at risk from unexpected bugs. What a relief.
Okay, I think we're happy. So, it's now Debt V.
Fuck me, you dog!
This is the situation, Debt V. Are the capitalists happy? Meh, they're okay. The environmentalists, we've got an approval of 100. We really just need to switch environmentalist propaganda on. We could probably do that now. If we just switch everything to environmentalist propaganda, then Bin Cat will win. With 420 supporters. 429. Who keeps trees in the radio? Alright then, Dev, what's it going to be? Would you want to change a little bit? We're just tweaking cosmetics, really. The environmentalists were so happy with that roundabout. Tree dwellers are satisfied. Are tree dwellers depleting? Let's have a look at the tree dwelling in this area. There's only one tree that's not occupied, so we can get rid of that. What's this? A beauty farm. Alright, we'll bring the beauty farm in closer. I love the tantrum. Okay, great. We'll stick some trees, yeah? Tree it up. Intellectual thing or a museum or another theatre. We can bring the theatre back, yeah. Got rid of your theatre, we can bring the theatre back. Probably get rid of that barracks, actually, for a theatre. The rebel situation's kind of died off. And like, for plays... Or do you want the opera house? Should we bring back the opera house? That was one of our mistakes. With trees we're getting, yeah. Well, look, while Debbie decides, I'll tree it up a bit. We always spend a lot of money on trees every time we get to Debbie. Alright. Plays. Alright, plays. Plays it is. See if you've got a metro. You won't object to a metro, will you? Ballet. No, there's no ballet, I don't think. Concert halls. They do exist. Concert stage, yeah. Hold festivals in the building. I've not used these before. Hologram funhouse. Climbing park. We could definitely do climbing parks. In fact, we'll stick a climbing park everywhere, I think. Well, look, we can also get rid of some of these tree houses here quickly. And then we'll just put a climbing park in. And then it'll look like nothing's gone. Hologram funhouse. A tree theatre. Yeah, that's cool, look. That's gonna be fun. You wanted fun, you said you wanted fun, huh? Am I not amusing you? And if you want to get down into the micro detail of this game, obviously you can go right down to this level. Run it at slow speed, get really into the aesthetics. You know, as you want. We focused on the macro because that's where the game was. Dance, monkey, dance. Can we see this climbing building closer? Yep. That's great. I'd be super happy if that was my kid's park. If I had that when I was growing up, damn right, that would have been fun. This is like some seriously like Lost Boys stuff, no? Never Neverland. Kittens would love this park. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you're right. You know what the secret is to happiness, gang, on Kitten Beach? Money. You know where the money's coming from? The banks. Alright, we're getting there, we're getting there. I don't know, you don't need any housing around here, I don't think, Detvy. I think we're good. Look, hey, people in the theatre. Loads of people in the theatre. Loads of actors, no guests, but... We haven't had terrorists for a while.
impromptu vandalism competition ended in victory today for the Tropican rebels, as they beat the local authorities by 2 whole walls.
Who needs guests? Alright, so, maybe I'll move my realm away from you. Put him back there. And we'll just close this off, I guess, yeah? The people will come, yeah, they can drive. Everyone's got access. You've got the Colosseum competing right there, though, and it's free. Which it is not in reality. Anyway, you don't have a pool. This is too much. Let's get rid of that. Stick the pool in there. Alright. My promise to you has been fulfilled. So, we're on to the final one now, which is Valerie. And unfortunately, Valerie, we can't be here. So, I expect you to root for her. But there's not so much left to do. It's whether we change the accommodation. You hate the pool. Alright, we'll take the pool away. Relax, take the pool away. What do you want? The park? Do you want another climbing frame? You don't want golf? Do you want the stage there? Dance school, okay. You can get something else as well if you want. I can fit an arcade there. Do you want an arcade? Do you want a games arcade as well? You've got space. Well, then we'll leave it. Or a park. I don't mind. We've got 1 million. Yeah, arcade? Alright. Right. These trees are slowly burning down. I can rearrange this into a nice centre. I can also make it a bit smaller and change the bridges, right? So we can bring the bridges right to Docky without this. So the bridges go here. Right? And then we can actually develop that front bit. Okay, so is anybody here to speak for Valerie? Docky needs a statue. Yeah, damn right Docky needs a statue.
Mobile phones. Modern miracle? Public nuisance? Or a cause of cancer? Let Canal Uno know your opinion. Call in now.
Make it pretty for Valerie or you never see Rome again. Alright, look. What I'm suggesting is we just shrink this bit off. and we reforest that a bit. And we can tighten everything up in this center. Pirate TV, there you go. Fuck it. Okay. And now he's too locked in to notice I've arrived. Okay, you're here, Valerie. So I've just trimmed it down, right? to kind of the pure, like, aesthetic form, with a cluster of tree houses around the register. And what I was going to suggest is we whack trees all around it. Is there anything else you want to add? I don't hate your trees. Your trees are good now. They're full. They just needed a bit of pruning. People from these shacks are going to move into the trees. Don't worry. This is water. What do you want to do? Do you want to? You don't have to do any industry or anything. It's just an aesthetic thing now. It's pretty cool. No, anything aesthetic. We've got loads of money. It's just we've got infinite money. We're just finishing the game. We've won. We defeated Kira in the last game. It looks cute, right? There's a little climbing house here as well. But we can add some other things, but it's really just aesthetic. So I was just going to ring it with trees. Unless you want the yacht. Yeah, the luxury cruise. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a kind of like Granada-y kind of flavour there. Trees and everything natural and beautiful. Alright. This is the last one, gang, and then we're gonna have a quick chat. %80 approval as well, make a note of that. Oh, you need a pool. Do you want a pool? Do you want a pool, Valerie? Such natural looking tree formations. Alright, but it's going to take me hours to finesse that, isn't it? I will do it for you. I'll do it. For pictures later. Alright, okay. Well, look, I can do it fast. We've got enough money. Monster's gonna get me about naturalism now. Alright? Does that just create the illusion? Metal log solid. $1 million of trees. That's what the German Ministry of the Environment want. Alright, I mean, I can finesse that for you guys later in another time if you want photos. But, there we go then. This is the kind of intellectual religious zone. Crustacean Sensation Factory, little bit of soft block living left, mostly people living in eco apartments. I would say everyone there is very happy. How's the dome doing? That dome's not occupied. Conspiracy Cathedral and the church is abandoned. No one's living up there. No one's living up there. The services are bleak. We're gonna have to tear that down, Bublina. And bring that back. Well, people are going. You know what, I'll get you another cathedral, why not? I'm the cathedral fairy. And then the kind of fusion of Petro and Terra, where Terra took the factories and Petro took the power. English-speaking tech took the banks, the chocolate, the art, and the cigars. And Devi had the Colosseum, the theatre, and the fashion industry, which is fueled by this kind of crocodile abuse over here, but we're not going to worry too much about that. And we just looked at Valerie. Alright. So that's the end of Kitten Beach Season 2. We survived this time. We didn't survive Season 1. Season 1 ended in a disaster. And I think one of the purposes of this stream was to just see if we can handle the kind of voting system and the politics and that kind of thing for other games. Thank you for those of you who took part in that experiment. It will be very useful and it will provide me with a lot of stuff to analyse for Kitten Beach Season 3 and how we want to approach it. And other games as well, because it helps us with Crusader Kings and these kind of things when we're experimenting doing interactive stuff. So it's a bit less top heavy this time, with some problems from that and some advantages. So please, if you have feedback on Kitten Beach and how it worked the second time, bear in mind we were losing some tightness of maybe narrative control and giving democratic power. So it's really about that. Whether you want to keep that or keep that a bit more loose is what I'm interested in. This was a much calmer season because we were better at the game. But we got Tropico 7 coming, and we've also got other games that we can apply this idea to, I guess, Ratatouille. And it's more like Kitten Breach is a brand that goes across multiple strategy games, maybe. Because we can turn any strategy game into cats, right, in our heads. It's about how games that allow us to work together effectively. Now, a city planner, that could be interesting. Try to be a council. So if you have suggestions like that, I love these city games. I wouldn't mind practicing them a bit so I can get decent at it before we start, especially if we're going to have a kind of multiplayer type thing. But if you've got suggestions for those that you think might be fun, that throw up some stuff that's maybe as funny, or, well, you know, we can play with anything. I'm interested in Manor Lords, but I think it might be a bit too... It might not be quite finished yet. Extemporaneous. Everything can be cats, exactly, right? But Tropico's not going anywhere. It's just going to go on hiatus now, and we're going to give that slot to Life is Strange and the games that we need to complete for a while, because we're getting up to for the new season, which will be a bunch of new games will start. So I kind of want to like clear the decks. Maybe not before Control though. I think if there is a Monday slot next week, we will do Control. But we're not going to start anything else until we finish Life is Strange. And I think we're good though. We finished Nicopolis Untold, right? We basically finished KCD. We're coming to the end of KCD 1. And
Fuck me, you
Hello Kitty is endless. Oh, thank you, Bublina. Thank you. Alright, so I'll be back later, and just a quick recap. I've got 10 minutes left, I think. Just a quick recap on this afternoon. So this will be a brief discussion of my understanding and application of the theory of multiple intelligences within a kind of educational setting. But it might have some interest in terms of,
fuck me, you
as I said, people who are interested generally in the mind and how it works and how it could work or didn't work or whatever. Thank you, Monster. That's really nice. Thank you. Yeah, we did win. We won. Yeah, we absolutely won. And I can tidy all this up for pictures for you if you want. Hello Kitty ends when we get to the North Pole. Hello Kitty ends when the stars are right. Yeah, so this afternoon, yeah, because I know a lot of people were in education one way or another, so they might find it interesting. You might find it interesting if you've got kids and you're interested in or child development, minds. Going to like range across a few topics. I'm not an expert in any field, but I was at the kind of coalface of trying to apply it in a real world setting and not just theorizing about it in academia. I've always tried to do that. I'm not a big fan of the ivory tower. I've had some interlocutions with the literati in my past, but I like being focused on solutions for things and how you can actually do this thing rather than just talking about it, which is where a lot of things get bogged down when you're trying to do effect change and all of this kind of thing. So I'm going to talk about that and give some kind of like tips if you're thinking of maybe playing around with that yourself, if you're an educator or a teacher or an instructor or something. I'm going to dip into a few other topics you might find interesting. I'm probably going to touch on the heteronyms of Fernando Pessoa, who's a figure who had kind of like a semi kind of multiple personalities maybe. He's a bit of a strange case, but I'll dip into him and I'll dip into some kind of Bruno and Flood and these kind of things, so you can see how this idea has been across the centuries. You know, it's an idea that's always in the background. It's just a way you can approach the mind. Not necessarily whether it's physically true, but we'll deal with that first. So I'll talk for about an hour max. I'll try not to talk for longer than that. It'll probably be coffee fueled. And then we'll just discuss it. So I'll take questions on it. I'm not an expert. Thank you, Lord Swordplay. Very nice. No, as I said, we won last game, really. We had $1 million in the bank and the forces, the separatists were defeated, really. What we should have had in the first time game was the policy of Dayton. I'd forgotten that button existed. That button could easily have saved us. Alright, so I'll have a coffee and we'll chat about that and we'll see if it throws up anything useful. And then, as I said, this is kind of one slot that's now been unlocked by big donors and so on. Because there was some interest in that, I thought I could give that back as a one just kind of funny thing. As if that expands, then I will expand that. So, but there needs to be support if there's interest, because you know it's kind of part of my livelihood. So that's why, and I've spoken to a lot of people about that. So see how that goes for you. If you find that interesting, there's going to be like, yeah, one of those every so often, and we'll look at different intelligences and like interesting things, challenging things in fields of knowledge as they relate to those intelligences is what I've got planned at the moment. So, alright, see you later for those who are interested. If you can't make it, but you know somebody who might be interested, because they're an educator, maybe they can show up for this, you know, they might want to turn on for this stream.
Fuck me, you dog.
And if they're in curriculum management, this kind of thing, it might be interesting for them. Alright, okay, so see you later. Thank you, Yoxry. We appreciate your support here. Alright, and bye-bye.